Welcome to Leads and Leverage, Real Estate Team Leader Lounge, where success in real estate meets passion-driven leadership. I'm your host, Tyler Gibson. I'm an entrepreneur, real estate team leader, and investor, and I'm thrilled to have you join us in the ultimate hub for real estate excellence. In this exclusive lounge, we're diving deep into strategies, tactics, and stories that fuel the success of real estate teams. Whether you're a seasoned pro looking to take your leadership skills to new heights or an aspiring entrepreneur ready to build your own powerhouse team, this podcast is your go-to resource for insider insights and actionable advice. Get ready to hear from top experts, industry pioneers, and real-world achievers who are making waves in the real estate world. We'll explore the best practices, share invaluable lessons learned, and equip you with tools you need to thrive in today's competitive market. Welcome to the lounge where leaders are made and success is earned. Come on in to the Real Estate Team Leader Lounge. Hello and welcome to another episode of Leads and Leverage, the Team Leader Lounge. I'm so excited to have Shawna here with me today. Shawna is in Northern Nevada. Last year in 2023, she was voted best in Reno, her and her team. She was also awarded KW's Cultural Icon Award, and her team has been top 3 at their brokerage for the last 3 years. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Shauna. I'm excited to learn more about you. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you. Good morning. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm enjoying my coffee because it's early here.
That's right. We've got a little bit of a time difference. That's right. Because I'm in Florida and that's right. It's morning for you. It's afternoon here, right?
Yep. Yeah, you're midday heat. I'm over here finishing my cup of joe, but it is nice to be here. Thanks for having us. Yes. All that information is correct. We're very, very proud to be here, to be serving, the Northern Nevada region. And we love getting to network like we're doing right now.
Awesome. So, give us a quick synopsis. Tell me a little bit about your story. How long have you been doing real estate? I know that you lead a team now. Tell us how big the team is. Give us kind of a quick snapshot of the beginning to now.
Yeah, I'll do it all. So I started in 2015. So that's, I'm entering into my year 10 eventually, right? My co-team lead, McKenna, who's currently in Italy right now, so she's not here, but she started in 2014. And I ran my own business in my own home. I ran a daycare for years, and I grew up in an investor family. So my parents bought and sold a lot of properties and had a handful of rentals. So I just always grew up knowing that this was something that entertained me, but not really, taking action. And I just woke up one day while running my daycare, navigating some health concerns at the time. And I said, this is not for me. I can't have this. I need to be here for my kids. I need to find a career that allows me the flexibility, but also gets me out of the house, right? To navigate life as a mom. And real estate was it. And I went right in and I never looked back. And that's kind of where we're at. McKenna and I met. I didn't start at Keller Williams. I started at Remax, and I started from the back end out. So I, as a transaction coordinator, and then a little assistant, and then a buyer agent assistant. And then I eventually made my way into an executive assistant for, at the time, Reno's largest team. So I got to learn a lot from the inside out. And at that time, McKenna was working with someone else, and we had a transaction together. So she recruited me. I was like, we want you. And I'm like, no, I'm here. So when I eventually branched out and went out on my own, I had a good friend that branched out with me, and that was great. And she just pretty much said, I'm done working real estate. And we were by then at Keller Williams, and McKenna was there, and we just matched perfectly. So we did the little hard date for a while, and made sure that our personalities were fixed and our goals were aligning. And then we quickly realized that we were made to be best friends, and we had just missed each other's lives for almost 40 years. And how great is this? And we have been going ever since. So we are officially McKenna and Shawna Home Team. We do have a director of operations and a buyer's agent, and then another buyer's agent. So we are 4. We are all wives and mothers. That's probably our claim to fame right now. We get a lot of jokes about men saying, hey, I can't wait to infiltrate your team. So to come in and join us, which we're not against. We're just very, very proud to all be working moms, working wives, and juggle life in general. Like, so we're just very proud of it. But yeah, we've got a little quaint team and we pack a little punch.
That's awesome. So I guess I have lots of
Yeah.
questions.
Ask away.
Most of the team leaders I talk to, they started their own team. They didn't partner up with somebody else. Talk to me a little bit about the dynamics, because I've asked the question. I've heard other people ask the question before about, should I? There's this other agent. I think we'd work well together. Should we partner together?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the feedback I've heard from people, some of the big team leaders here in my market is, don't ever partner because it never works out.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So talk to me, like, how did that come about? How did you get to a point where you felt like partnering with somebody was actually going to be something that would benefit both of you?
I think that's, I think because we're both also busy moms, we knew that we had to rely on each other, to get the job done. So that was really great. I think having the little dating period beforehand, we worked together for probably a year and a half consistently on every file, but without a agreement in place or contract terms or a team that was part of it, just to make sure that, areas that I'm strong in that she might not be, or in areas she's strong in that I might not be, were a good fit for each other. And at the end of the day, we did go against the model. We definitely went against what everybody was saying, which is, don't do this. It's never going to work out. And I didn't have a partnership before her, but I definitely had a good friend of mine that we worked together, and that didn't work out because she just one day said, I'm done, and she came from a partnership before too that also didn't work out. So we'd both been burned in that scenario. But I think it comes down to really open and honest conversation, a lot of rehearsal time, and I'm going to call that dating period, right? And a very strong contract in place, and just understanding that we have goals and we're very, very open about them. So the way that we run our business is not like the way anybody runs their business. I mean, we've even had old team leaders from Keller Williams. So if you understand the model, KWs all have team leaders say, well, you guys are kind of a disaster. You're not going with, not following the path. And we're not a disaster. We have absolute unencumbered trust with each other and the way that we do business. And we absolutely share our goals and what that looks like for us in the future continuously. So that if something changes, if there's a disinterest or a necessity to do this, or a willingness or desire to step out, right? We're aware, we know how to handle that. We know what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I guess my general answer is, there's all your ramble. I don't really know how to answer that. We just know it just felt good. And sure. I love working with McKenna, but yeah, we're co-team lead. We're
Gotcha.
Hand in hand.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, their reservation is being afraid that the other person won't work as hard as they are.
Oh, so we do have that. That is that we don't have that ourselves, but we have that conversation. That conversation right. does come up either with others and people who are experienced, like, don't do that. It doesn't work out. What defines work though? Because that's my thing, right? Like, we're primarily relocation based. We have a tremendous sphere of referrals, right? McKenna is a world traveler. She homeschools her boys. She's got an amazing husband. He owns his own business too. He's in the medical field. They travel a lot, right? So some people might look at the team and be like, wow, Shawna, you're always working, you're always doing things. Well, guess what? I have a college age kid and a 17-year-old. My kids don't need the attention that her kids do. I'm terrified of flying. Like, I will fly if I have to, but I'm terrified of it. So world traveling is never going to be a thing for me. And I have a husband who travels for work, and he's busy. He doesn't get a lot of time off a year. So for me, I want to be out and front and center and with the clients, but I also talk a lot. I get along with them really well. I love buyers. What kind of team leader loves buyers? That nobody does. They'll leverage that out. They'll throw it at their buyer's agents, but buyers come in. I'm like, let's go. I'll show you 9 homes. I love it. I love it so much. So realistically, there's a lot of back end work that's with the team too. You've got LLCs and S corporations. You've got payroll. You've got taxes. There's a lot of that. I don't want to touch it. McKenna does. You know, I mean, she might not want to, but she's good at it, right?
You're right.
But she also works the referral side. She handles the virtual assistant. She's making sure everybody's paid, everything's there, schedules are in tune, meetings are in place, agendas are there, you know, and on top of working when she's present, right? So when she
Right.
is here and present, if I'm sick, if Jessica's sick, if Kim's sick, those are our other two agents, right? Right there, we're all just super supportive of
Yeah.
each other. So yeah, there are things that she does for the team, and there are things that I do for the team, and there are things that we both do well. And so I might be out with a client for 5 days in a row, and she might never see them for those whole 5 days, but she's working. She's working really hard. And I think that's what mindset you have to get over is, yeah, if you're splitting a paycheck or payroll with someone who's not being productive into your business, so they're not either bringing the business or helping you work the business, then that's true. That statement is going to be true. But I have a woman who brings it in and works it, and she has a
Right.
woman who brings it in and works it, and we're just two women who work really hard.
Well, it's cool that you found that yin to your yang. I know
Yeah.
that it can be hard for folks, right? So I know that you said that you have some additional buyer's agents.
Yep.
At what point did you guys decide to bring on additional agents outside the two of you?
So we probably should have thought about this post-COVID, right after when COVID opened up.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it was a little bit of, no, we don't want to, or then we have to sit down and train, and we don't have that kind of time. Look how busy we are, because there were a few years there where we were just 10 steps behind every single day,
Sure.
you know, trying to get caught up. But we actually did a year and a half ago, we added Kim. She's actually a past client of ours. She's a friend of ours as well. So, you know, it was a personal and professional decision. And she's had real estate experience up in Idaho, you know, years ago, and she's a marketer. So we thought, you know what, you'd be a great fit for us. So she came on as a buyer's agent. And so she's there. And then we have Jessica came last June. And Jessica and we've actually known each other for years. She's been licensed for years. She just, you know, she's just perfect for us. And so she came in as a director of operations. So she's part-time director of operations, right? So, you know, everything from transaction management to executive assistant to telling us what to do, where to be, put things on the calendar. She's covering for me right now while I'm on this, you know, call with you or podcast with you. And then she's part-time, you know, agent, and she can list, she can buy, she can do whatever she wants. So that's within the last year and a half is really when we made those changes, and we're so happy we did.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I know you said a lot of your business is referral based, and
Yep.
you do a lot of relocations. Do you do any kind of paid lead generation or have any other kind of lead generation strategies that you guys are implementing right now to get new opportunities?
We do social media ads. So we do run social media ads. So we'll do team ads or we'll do listing ads, you know, and that's very clickbaity, as you know. They don't really generate a whole lot for us, but all of our listings get ads. Some of our listings get repeat ads. You know, it just depends on the production and what we're seeing from it. So we do a lot of social media presence. And then we do have we do use can I say the brand? Is that okay? Can I tell you?
Sure.
Yeah, we use Market Leader. So we do have Market Leader, and we love that CRM. It's really nice, which is really convenient. So and then those leads, you know, the listing leads will come our way. All the others will go to the team. So it's pretty great. Yeah. But that's it. We're not Zillow. We're not Realtor.com. We don't have to be, and B, we don't want to be that busy. And I know that sounds ridiculous. Most people are like, I'm just going to keep working and keep doing this and keep doing that. We want to work really hard for you and for everybody here in our region. And we want to continuously be known as a great, super fun team that's amazing to be with. But we don't want to be burnout. You know, we still have life and husbands and things to do and kids to raise. So the last thing we want to do is feel the exhaustion from the market. And I think if we added on additional expenses in that manner for lead gen, then we'd spend a lot of wasted time potentially getting a client.
Yeah, I think that's great wisdom for for agents that are thinking about, well, how do I scale?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, scaling is great, but do you need to?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
is it, because sometimes is it enough, right? Like if you have really good referral sources already, why wouldn't you just continue to love and leverage on them? It
Yep.
probably costs you less money and has a better ROI, right?
The ROI on our referral partners is tenfold in comparison to any kind of additional lead gen. And loving on our referral partners is probably one of our absolute top priorities. We love that. We travel with them. We attend courses with
Right.
them. They're our friends. So they're not the cheerleader posts that you hear about. These are people we actually know. We know them very well. So that's why they're rooting for us. That's why we're rooting for them. But that's the bigger one. Yeah, I think if there comes a day where the team sits down and says, I want to be even busier, then we can make those changes as we need to. But when the funnel is full
Yeah.
and everybody's got something to do every day, and we feel really good about the time we've spent in that day and that week and that month on our business, then we're okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're totally, I guess you could say content a
Yeah.
lot. Um, yeah,
You
we still
said
set goals.
cheerleader post. You
Yes.
said cheerleader post. So I'm curious. So then, do you get referrals from like social media, from
Yes.
Facebook groups and things like that? The reason I asked that question is because cheerleader, I know what that term means,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm in a lot of these groups too, and you can absolutely get referrals from sometimes perfect strangers just because you're in a particular market and
Yep.
if you're fast enough to respond. But there are those cheerleader posts. So that's great that you guys are leveraging social media for agents or people that may not know what you and I are talking about, because I'm being a little bit vague. Can you give them kind of a high level what that looks like, or what you're doing to try to find those opportunities?
Yeah. So pretty much what we do is we have like a referral partners. We have a pretty consistent group of referral partners. I can't take credit for this. I'm just involved in it. But we've had some top referral agents across the nation that have put together some wonderful groups, and we are in attendance for a lot of our social media platforms that are related to real estate. So when someone says, hey, I need an agent in this community, if we know an agent, we know them, we've worked with them, we've met them, we know them, right? Then we're going to say, this is someone you need to know, right? So we're going to help facilitate that connection for another agent. Maybe someone in Virginia needs someone in Colorado, and we've got a great partner in Colorado. We're going to come in there from Reno, and we're going to say, like, this is who you should know. The reason why it gets called cheerleaders, because a lot of people, there are a lot of people out there in these referral groups that have like a pay per referral scenario. So we have this even on a local level, and we get solicited for these all the time, right? And we have a handful of brand new agents, no transactions, no experience. And when I say brand new, I mean brand new. But as soon as someone's like, I need someone in Carson City, they're like, you should know Jake Smith, or, there's a horrible fake name because someone probably is named Jake Smith in this Reno area. So, oops, but you know what I mean? And I know that he just picked up his license yesterday, and they have not worked, but that's a cheerleader post. That's what we mean by cheerleaders, is the people who've paid for that access, or the people who don't really know, they're just part of a network. What we do is we make sure that network is actually part of our lives. They are physically part of our lives. We are going to mega camp. We are going to family reunion. We are masterminding together. We are traveling to someone's house. We are connecting when we're visiting each other's towns, right? We are sending the text. For example, the entire referral group yesterday was absolutely terrified. We have a huge fire here right now. I don't know if you've heard of it, the Davis Creek fire. It's huge. McKenna's house is right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of it. I mean, they've been holding the fire line. It's been really great. Her entire family is evacuated. It's a really big situation. It's very terrifying. Our little friends in that referral group, they connected. They checked in. They're keeping good thoughts. That's not what, like, the everyday realtor who just signs up on a platform and is told to use Jake Smith. That's not what they're going to do, right? These are friends. These are actual friends of ours. So that's what I mean between cheerleader and friendships. But we just work the referrals. We love them. They're great. They're some of our favorite clients are the referrals. And the other thing we're really good at is navigating relocation. And typically when an agent is giving you a referral, it's an agent not in your area. So that is a client who is relocating either to or from, right, another location. And that's just something that we also specialize in, which is a whole nother topic. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think that's super valuable. We'll wrap it up here in just a minute. What about leverage? The other part of leading a team and trying to grow your business, it's not just getting more leads, but how do you get more time, right? How do you take some of the tasks that you have to do, find somebody else to do it? What have you guys done to kind of create more leverage? Obviously, having buyer's agents is one way to do it. Anything else that you guys have done that you felt like really gave you the ability to do more with less?
We have our agents, right? So we have a buyer's agent, which is great leverage because we can, Kim is there, she's available. We also have in our contract additional stipulations that are like, you can cover for other people, outside of being a buyer's agent. You can open doors, you can attend inspections, especially if we need that. So having additional contract terms was very important to us. It was a little outside the scale, but something that we were saying, like, we're all friends, let's all work together, let's make this happen. But having a director of operations was probably the next best thing. So having Jessica in the title of director of ops, that's really great. So even before I got in this podcast, I'm like, I need you to send this rejection, can you please send these inspections over? And she's going to task those out. So now I don't have to do that. So having that, back end desk work completed is great. We have a virtual assistant, which is great. I do come from oddly enough, I come from a background of core training. So that's like embedded in my head, which is all about calendarizing, staying in tune with what's there. Here's the dates you're going to do this and the times, and here's the dates you're going to do this and the times. Does life get in the way? And do we fall off of that little wagon of consistency? Yes, because it does. And things come up, and especially in real estate all the time, right? But calendarizing is very, very important. And then the biggest thing is not being afraid to just ask for help. We're very, very fortunate. The brokerage I'm with, Keller Williams, right? Keller Williams Group 1. We have hundreds of agents within our brokerage. We have 2 different locations, and then 3 technically, if you want to count our mega agent office in Fernley. And even if my team is having difficulties with additional leverage, we've misjudged our schedule, 2 of us are sick, whatever the situation it may be, I can get right into a text with so many different personalities within our brokerage because they're such a fantastic cultural fit, right? And just say, I need help. And I think the biggest thing is just not being afraid to ask, right? And not being afraid to say, who can host this open house? Do we absolutely like to give opportunities to newer agents? 100%, right? So I love a good open house. I'm really good at converting leads from open house. I don't walk away from an open house without a lead. And it's just a thing. It happens. But if I've got 4 or 5 new agents in my brokerage and I can see that they're struggling, I'm gonna shoot them the opportunity to go work that open first. I might pop in and help them. I might coach them on that first or second one, right? But that's a huge part of leveraging that a lot of people aren't realizing that can be utilized. And especially when you have a team and you're starting to get voluminous in your listings. So like we have 8 or 9, I think, structural listings right now, and then 3 land lots, and we're getting ready to throw another one on. That's obviously 5 or 6 more than what we can all host together, right? So just bringing in additional business and understanding that there's enough business here for everyone. Our competition is only with ourselves. Are we being the best? Are we being ethical? Are we being honest? Do our clients love us? And as long as our mindset is not that the competition is with everybody else in this industry, then there are plenty of people who are willing to help you and plenty of opportunities for you to leverage out. The general answer on top of that, a good CRM, good calendar, you know what I mean? But we're director of ops. We're good CRM. We've got a high functioning team, and we have a virtual assistant way off in the background. His name is Jason. He's awesome. We love him. And he kind of watches the online presence for us and lets us know if there's an opportunity or a big red flag that we need to pay attention to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have him watching some of these groups that you're in to see if there's an opportunity there?
Yeah.
And then I assume do you have scripting for him to use to start if he sees something so he can reply, or is it a, hey, tell Shawna?
No, it's more so like he'll shoot us a little heads up, because we, for the most part, we want to have the conversations ourselves, right?
Sure.
Like we don't need a virtual assistant selling us. We can sell ourselves. So it's like a little heads up, and we're out in the field a lot, as you know. So we're not sitting there and scrolling everything that's going on, and not every opportunity is for us also. So we want to be able to look it up, kind of vet the situation. And he's not licensed, and he's not here to really do that on our behalf, but he does keep an eye on there. But he's also looking for little red flags. Is someone messaging us something awful, or is someone going on a political rant on one of our posts about a new listing? So we try to keep everything clean and organic. So he's just kind of a good visual eye for us, and he works hard. He works really hard. So we appreciate him. We've never met him outside of a video conference, which is even better, but also kind of sad, because he feels like a very integral part of our team. So virtual assistant is something that if you start getting busy and you're not quite ready to have that trust and relationship with someone in person, right? Or to release some additional leverages, because I think controlling is the thing that most agents think of, is like, I don't want to relinquish that control. Then having a virtual option where you can at least leverage something that consumes you in your day-to-day. And the biggest thing that is probably most consuming outside of being with the client is social media in real estate.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
So took that right out.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I too have a virtual assistant in the Philippines. She's my full-time marketing and social media person.
I love it.
And it's the second person that's been in that role, right? The first person, but it's just one of those things when you're hiring virtual assistants, you need to understand that it may not work out.
Yeah.
And you just need to get rid of that person as soon as you know that it's not going to work out, and you can go find somebody else. I think the last time I put up an ad for like a real estate admin on the site that I use, we had like 100 applications in less than 24 hours.
It's ridiculously insane how easy it is to hire someone who's willing to take work off of your plate. And it's even that much easier to find someone who's going to do a good job of it. I think a majority of, he's our second VA too. Our first one was actually fantastic. There was a connection issue, in general. But I think the biggest issue with virtual assistants is us. It's people like me, and it's people like you, and we're just like, it's not done right. And that's the thing we have to remember, is sometimes people do something right, but they do it differently. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that we're trying to control the situation. So once you kind of wake up in your day and you realize, like, did everything catch fire and burn to the ground and go to all poo yesterday? No. Okay, great. We're moving on, So like my big thing in the morning, everyone's got these little mantras and stuff. And I wake up every morning and I just say, like, am I going to make someone smile today? And then I have to process what's going on from the day before, and whether things are done right or things are done wrong, or I was controlling or I wasn't controlling enough. But things haven't burned to the ground yet. So it's all moving along. And that's like, I take a very kind of inorganic yet very organic approach to, everything's fine.
I love that.
It's fun. Yeah. So VAs are important.
Absolutely. And you're right. The biggest problem tends to be us. Either we didn't give them clear instructions, or we didn't set proper expectations.
That's it.
Or
we
did not give them proper training, right? And I think most of it boils down to, the other day, my VA posted something, and I sent her a message really quick after I saw it, and I was like, hey, and she was like, what's the matter? And I was like, I need you to take that down for this reason and that reason, and I only want it posted here, not there. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm like, no, it's my fault. I don't think I verbalized it. I thought it in my head, but I didn't tell you. Yeah. And so that tends to be the biggest struggle, is it's oftentimes where we haven't verbalized or set proper expectations. And then the biggest challenge with virtual assistants is just being able to train them to do what it is that you want them to do.
Yeah.
Right? But for the most part, there's some really talented folks that are willing to take, a pretty low wage to do things that you and I won't want to do or aren't good at. And,
it is very cost effective. It's definitely very cost effective. That's for sure. But they're I don't know. They're just so smart. I'm glad that your VA works really hard. I'm glad that our VA works really hard. I was actually anti a VA for a long time. And then I quickly, it didn't take long for McKenna to say, like, no, this is a necessity. This is look at the time we're spending on this, and this.
Yeah.
We need him. And I said, okay, you're right. So, but now I'm totally on board.
Well, so outside of telling people they should go hire a VA, obviously, because it's the best form of leverage at the cheapest amount of money.
Yeah.
So we're getting towards the end here. If there's somebody that's listening that's thinking about starting a team or trying to grow their team, what advice might you give them as they contemplate that idea?
I'm a big fan of suggesting rule number 1, which is to date first. Date first. And if you're an agent at one brokerage and you're an agent at another, one of you go to the other brokerage and date for a while. Give it a solid year and a half, because you are going to want to see how that agent works through every season, through, a little roller coaster of a market, through a busy time and a dead time, because I think that's probably rule number 1. So just get together in a position and work alongside each other, but not as a partnership or a team. And then the next thing for a team is just make sure that you understand the finances that are required for team building. I think that is really important. So sit down, pick the brains of some top producing agents in your market, pick some brains of some small producing teams, but look for the longevity in them, right? And say, what have been your highs and lows? And I think just making sure that you're engaging in that conversation and understanding what lead gen looks like, what CRM, access looks like, what splits look like, what additional costs and fees, and what you're willing to carry every month for both your team members or every year in your renewals, right? Because you could be in a situation where you have someone who's not producing, but it's costing you money. And then the next thing is you have to have some tough skin. You have to have some real thick skin. And I'm not saying thick skin for your team. That's not it. If your relationship is strong enough with the people you've brought on, you're going to be able to have any conversation anytime. I'm saying thick skin when someone on your team is saying, I'm not comfortable doing this. Can you step in and help? Because that's usually when you have to have a hard conversation with someone outside of your team. So when you're working alongside on a transaction or getting a hold of a broker or telling a buyer or seller they're fired, right? And it does, I've noticed it, since team that does come up. It's great. That's what I want them to do, but yeah, it's something of that sort. But yeah, understanding how they work, understanding your expenses, get them a little thicker skin and that personality.
Awesome.
Top 3 right there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shawna. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Oh, we can be reached a million ways, but the absolute best way possible is via my cell phone. So you can shoot me a text. You can give me a call. Do you want me to give you the number?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. 775-530-7294. We're also on Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere, pretty much. LinkedIn, wherever you need us. McKenna and Shawna Home Team. We're always out and about and bebopping around Reno, Sparks, Carson, and Tahoe. So anything on that Nevada state line on that upper end, we'd love your phone call. We're happy to help. And we're super fun. So come see us.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here with me today, Shawna.
Thank you,
we'll
Tyler.
include links to all of your stuff in the show notes for folks. And for those of you that are watching this episode or listening somewhere, thanks for being here with us today on another episode of Leads and Leverage, the Team Leader Lounge. We'll catch you next time.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye, Tyler.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Leads and Leverage. I hope you found our conversation insightful and actionable. Remember, success in real estate is not just about transactions. It's about the relationships you build, the teams you lead, and the impact you make in the lives of others. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to stay connected with our community of real estate leaders and entrepreneurs, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us bring you more valuable content and guests. Don't forget to visit our website, gpghome.com/leads and leverage for additional resources, show notes, and exclusive updates. You can also follow me on Instagram at real_Tyler Gibson to join the conversation and connect with like-minded individuals. See you next week.